Alrighty, guys, welcome to the part dos. I can finally say welcome now because I have officially dropped the first video. So, agwa YouTuber. I'm actually really tired today, but I have been procrastinating this video, already procrastinating. I've been pushing the video back, and I'm just gonna get it out of the way today. I'm so exhausted. I want to sleep. I think you can see the sleep in my eyes. So before we get into this, you know what to do, 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 you know what to do. Just prepare to be sick of me. Alrighty, let's head straight into the video. So this is part two and the final part of my thoughts on the new live action Avatar The Last Airbender that just dropped. So if you haven't watched the first video, what are you doing here? If I catch you, you will go back and watch it and come back and continue watching this one. But for real, go watch the first video, then come back and watch this one. So let's just get straight right into it. Episode 5. My first thoughts on the fifth episode was about the bounty hunter. The casting was really good. Honestly, it felt like as if the actual animation came to life with June. June is her name. Not the name of the actual actor, the name of the character in the animation and live action. Her name was June. It felt like the character actually came to life because honestly, it looked exactly like her. So the casting was top notch. I don't actually know if I mentioned this before, but one of the things that I appreciated in the live action was the authenticity of the animals. I like how they maintained the animal blend and also tried to make the animals as authentic as possible. Even though I felt like they made Momo and Appa a little bit ugly, but it's fine. They did what they could. But with June's animal, that's the bounty hunter that had the animal that could sniff stuff and all of that and had the poisonous tongue. I think they did really, really good with that. But let's get into one of the things that I did not like. One thing that I did not like in episode 5 was why was it significant for Katara and Sokka to follow Aang into the spirit world when he went to the village where Heibai was tormenting the villagers and all of that. It made absolutely no sense to me. I mean, I understand that you guys are trying to blend different episodes together to find the ones that complement each other, but I don't think that that was the best choice at that time. I think episode 5 also annoyed me because they got to meet the um bird of knowledge. I can't remember his name right now, but the one that knows all things that had that library in the desert. They got to meet him in episode 5. Why was he even a character in episode 5? Because we don't get to see him until book 2. So the fact that they brought him up towards the first book or the first season in the live action, it was very pissing. Not to even talk about the face stealer. Why was the face stealer in this episode? Like, why the animation, the face stealer comes up when and goes to the northern water tribe. So why is he here when you're trying to deal with Heibai? They just combined so many spirits at once and it was very overwhelming. With the face stealer, let's not even talk about the fact that nobody got to warn and that if you show any kind of emotion, the face stealer would steal your face. This live action and was there shivering and whimpering and the face stealer did not even do anything. Like, make it make sense. And then they proceeded to change the entire method in which the face stealer leaves, like steals people's faces. If you know the Avatar realm or the Avatar storyline very well, you will know that they actually copied off Legend of Korra in that particular episode. Because if you can remember one of the episodes in Legend of Korra where Aang's kids were lost in the fog. They saw visions and they eventually lost their mind to the spirit of the fog. And in my opinion, I think that that was what the creators were trying to add because if you watch closely, you will notice that they were taking some snippets or some ideas from Legend of Korra, and I was like, why was that necessary? Avatar: The Last Airbender is complete on its own. There was no need for you to get more details or more ideas from Legend of Korra. Let's not even talk about the fact that Aang didn't even get to meet Roku at that point. He didn't get to ride on the dragon. Roku didn't get to explain the spirit world to him. Honestly, that episode was just very annoying. I don't even know why it was. So many things were not making sense in that episode. And then I hate how they messed with the visions in the swamp because one of the episodes that I felt like they were trying to merge in this episode 5 was the episode of the swamp, you know, with the swamp bender, that guy that bends the swamp spirits and all of that. I feel like one of the things that they majorly messed up were their visions. As for Kitara's visions, I felt like they just heightened it a little bit. They gave us more in-depth story on when her mom was taken away or killed rather, because in the live action it shows that her mom was killed right in front of her rather than taken away, as opposed to what the animation makes us believe. And I have to admit, I do feel bad for Kitara. If that was actually how she saw her mother die in the animation, it makes sense that she talks about her mom so much. But the Katara in the live action doesn't talk about her mom as much. And I'm like, girl, if you did go through that, talk about it. Like, now I understand. I mean, I did like Katara in the animation when it's especially when she was talking about her mom, but I just felt it was too much. Like, it's only you. But if the story was the story that we saw in the live action, it makes sense. Talk about it. Let me you watch your mother burn in front of you. Talk to me, baby. Bami sorrow. Let me know the pain that you're going through. Like, let it all out. But in the live action, they don't allow Katara to talk about her mom that much. And it just makes me have a newfound respect for Tara. I don't know why, but that's just how I feel right now. Going back to the visions, I can't even remember what Aang's vision was, and I think the swamp episode was also in book two. Aang's vision was supposed to be about him seeing Toph, but it was about him trying to rescue his friends from the fog, which is not even an original idea of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then they proceed to make Sokka see a fox that was supposed to be Yue. See, this is where we go back to the problem of him meeting Suki before meeting Yue, because it just messes up the entire timeline. Now, when he's supposed to be having visions of Yue that is supposed to already be dead at this point, he's having premonitions about her where she comes as a fox with some kind of yeye headband on one of her three tails. Come on now. Like I said in the part one, they took a lot of discoveries from Aang and they just spread it across the cast. Like, why was Sokka the one to figure out that Heibai was hurt? It was Aang's responsibility to figure out that Heibai was hurt because, or Heibai was angry, not necessarily because of anger, but because he was hurt that his forest was dying. But somehow, the Yeye Fox is telling Sokka, oh, he's just hurt, you know. Who cares? This is none of your business. Honestly, yeah, the entire episode of Aang trying to save his friends, that they were stuck in the spirit realm, that the face stealer had taken them, and the whole concept behind um Aang trying to appease the face stealer by returning something that Roku had already stolen from him. They just created an entire plot that was unnecessary. Avatar: The Last Airbender is already complete the way it is. Why do you feel the need to add more story? You just break the significance of the timeline. And lastly, with this episode, because I don't want to make this video too long, I'm tired, I want to go and sleep. Lastly, with this episode, one thing I did not like was the fact that Ozai was giving Zuko accolades. So you remember the episode? I don't know if you have watched it, but in episode 5, um, Ozai receives a letter that the avatar has been found. Azula is trying to weigh in and give the accolades to Zhao, but Ozai steps in and he's like, Zuko found him, not Zhao. Like, why are you people trying to make Ozai Father of the Year? In the entire animation, I never saw Ozai give Zuko any kind of accolades whatsoever, even when they thought that he killed the avatar. It was very sinister. In this entire episode, they just tried to make Ozai look like a very caring father. Like, we should be throwing a party for him on Father's Day. Should we buy him a mug? Because I don't understand. Lastly, I'm not even going to say this with any explanation whatsoever. The Zhao and Azula collaboration was unnecessary. We could have gone without it. Now, episode 6. Okay, so my first thought on episode 6, and I think everybody would agree with me if you've seen the series, why was there no Agni Kai between Zhao and Zuko? I mean, if you were going to take anything out, I mean, out of all the things that you could have taken out and all the unnecessary things that you put back inside, why did you take the Agni Kai away from us? The Agni Kai between Zuko and Zhao? Like, did you not watch it in the animation? Did you not see when Zuko put Zhao in his place and Zhao became intimidated by Zuko, a 15-year-old boy kicking his bum? Why would you take that out? And instead of that, instead of the Agni Kai, you now give us Zuko and Zhao working together. I mean, I know in the animation they kind of did, but there was a lot of underground business going on where both of them were trying to sabotage each other. I don't know. I just felt like the whole concept of them working together was absolutely too much for me. But I do like the authenticity of Zuko. Maybe you might say that I'm biased because I'm in love with Dallas Liu, but that's your business. Even though, regardless of on still, that won't concern you. I like how they were able to accurately um, show that he was an angry teenager, but he was an extremely emotional teenager. I think I've said that before in the first episode. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. I know this is going to happen. But still on Zuko, let's talk about Zuko's banishment according to the live action. In the animation, we see that Ozai is a lunatic. Zuko is in the briefing room, war briefing room, and he says that the general's plan is a bad idea. Ozai says absolutely nothing and just says they're going to have an Agnikai. Zuko assumes it's going to be with the general, but then it turns out it's going to be with his dad because Ozai says that he questioned his war plans in his war room or some story. But now let's come to the live action. Zuko gets all dolled up and he goes into the war room. When he gets to the war room, he sits in and all the generals are giving their ideas. They talk about how they want to put Crew 41 on the line and um, have them be sacrificed. I think they were trying to go to war with um, Ba Sing Se. They wanted to bring the wall of Ba Sing Se down. The first inappropriate thing that these people did is they had Ozai ask Zuko what he thought. Eh? You're making Ozai like Fire Lord Ozadi. You're making him ask Zuko what he thinks. Does that sound like something that Ozai would ever do? And then there's an entire commotion where Zuko doesn't really agree. And then he tells the general it's a bad plan. Even the way Ozai said that there was going to be an Agni Kai was cringy. I wish I could put a snippet of how he said it. Just pause this video, go to episode 6, try to look for the part where Ozai said that Zuko was going to do an Agni Kai for challenging the general, and watch how the cringe is cringing. I was embarrassed. Secondhand embarrassment out of this world. They just made Ozai so proactive. Everything he wants to put smarts inside. How come? Let's get to the Agni Kai. Very, very mid. Very, very, very mid scene. I don't know about you people. Maybe you were impressed. For me, I wasn't impressed by the entire Agni Kai scene. The only thing that impressed me about Agni Kai, about the entire Agni Kai scene, was getting to see Ozadi shirtless. That was all. But aside that, everything was very, very mid. In the animation, Zuko got his scar because he refused to fight his father. But in the live action, they actually made Zuko fight his father. Yeah? No, I was like, no, it is not possible. My eyes cannot be watching the thing that I'm watching right now. Zuko, you get mind though. It's like when your African mother says, come and beat me, and you say, if you will carry your two left legs, go and beat her. Are you okay? The one that now pissed me off the most is that Zuko, a 13-year-old boy at that time, or was it 12? Sha, a small boy at that time, had the capacity to lower his father's defenses, to lower Ozadi's defenses to a point where he had an advantage to strike Ozai. Then Zuko retreated because it was his father, and then Ozai found a loophole and retaliated and gave him the scar. Honestly, it was not adding up. It was not adding up in my head because what you're trying to tell me now is that Zuko had the leverage against his father, Ozai, Ozadi of the Fire Nation. How is that even possible? How can Zuko ever have that advantage against Ozai? It's not. It cannot be my animation. It can never be possible. From the animation, we know that Zuko got his scar because he refused to fight his father. But what you're not trying to tell me now in the live action is that Zuko got the scar because he showed weakness while he was fighting his father. He even fought his father. And then after Ozai had finished mutilating his son, Zuko is there chilling on the royal bed with the eye patch thingy on his eyes. Arrow is tending to him, and then Ozai comes, and Ozadi is like, he wants to see his son. Arrow is like, now is not a good time. Ozadi is like, oh, he's my son and I want to see him. Then he walks over to his son and he says their equivalent to a doctor says he's going to heal nicely, which means he's strong. He starts to talk about how he feels like he has sheltered Zuko all his life and he has made him weak like his mother. Ozai never sheltered Zuko. He didn't even care that Zuko was alive. I don't even see. I look, he have a a conspiracy theory that Zuko might not even be Ozai's real child because the way he used to treat him in the animation. And he proceeds to say that he was going to send him out into the world so that he can become strong and become a man. And if he really cares about the crew 41 so much, he should take them along with him as his crew. So what you're trying to tell me in the live action is that Ozadi sent Zuko out as a lesson to teach him how to be stronger. You know they do like that for you. In the animation, Ozari sent Zuko out as a punishment. He was banished. It was a punishment. He sent him. Hmm, Jesus, my Yoruba people have come for me. He sent him out as a punishment. If you went to boarding school in Africa or in Nigeria, you would know the punishment called Journey of No Return. That was what Ozai did to Zuko. He sent him to go and look for the avatar. He did not think the avatar was going to resurface. He didn't think Zuko was going to have any success. So he was basically just trying to get rid of Zuko. But no, what these live action producers want to tell me is that Ozai was doing Zuko a favor by sending him out to go and learn. Chelsea, come on now. Lastly, before I move on to the next episode, just three very short points. Number one, I don't like the fact that Aang got to go to the Fire Nation, Roku's temple by himself. Well, I can't really do much. It was fair enough. But the one that really pained me is the fact that they took Roku's fight scene out. Like, if you people could give Kiyoshi a fight scene where she embodied Aang, why could you not do it for Roku that was the main person that had the scene? Like, why would you just take away the entire scene where Roku embodies Aang? I can't remember if he embodied or he just came as a representation. But Roku was shot there and he fought off those temple keeping guys with their yeye robe and their long caps just because they were trying to harm Aang. Why would you take out that epic fight scene? That was the only time we got to see Roku in action, and you took it out and replaced it with June coming to come and capture the avatar. First of all, who is June that she has the ability to capture the avatar? I mean, I understand June is badass and I'm a fan, but who is she that she has the audacity to capture the avatar? So you replaced Roku's awesome fight scene at his fire temple with June coming to capture the avatar. Did you think that that was a better substitution? Like, did you even have, or did these people even have a crew that they sat together to think about it to say, hey, I think this is a good idea? Like, why would you even do that? Honestly, yeah. The entire Fire Nation Roku's Temple thing pissed me off because there was absolutely no reason why you needed to take out Roku's fight scene and replace it with something mediocre like that. Honestly, pissed me off. Alrighty, episode 7. Don't worry, we're almost done with this because even me, oats is for me. First things first for episode 7, UA's casting.
Sorry for the laugh.
At least if we're not going to give accolades for anything, let's give accolades for the casting of Yue in the first live action that never happened in 2010 because that babe actually looks like Yue as compared to this chick. Did you see her wig? I mean, the wig was probably expensive, but even though, did you see the wig? Let's leave her casting one side. Let's go to the fact that she wasn't engaged to Han. Like, they made her sound so wise because she's supposed to be a spirit. She was just a girl. She said she ended her relationship with Han. I mean, I appreciate that fact. Like, girl power, you do you. But which one is she has been waiting for the right man? You are a baby. Oh. What do you know about the right man? Like, just tell me what you know about finding the right man. Because there are warriors before you that have not found the right man. Is you. that you're waiting for the right man. Okay. Oh. Before I continue with the entire escapades that went down in the northern tribe, let me just pivot a little bit back to Azula. The fact that she was still bending yellow or orange fire still pissed me off, but I've already lamented about that, so I'm going to move on. Now let's talk about how Azula and Ozadi's relationship was flawed. I don't know why they made it seem like Azula had to prove anything to Ozai. That was not what their relationship was. In the animation, Azula was Ozai's secret weapon. Azula was the weapon that Azula was an extension of Ozai that he would send so that people would feel his wrath. Why did they make it so that Azula had to prove herself to her father? It was so flawed and it was completely unnecessary. We all know that Azula is a psychopath. She's a crazy person. She is her father's daughter. And Ozai knew who she was and he utilized her to her max absolutely flawlessly until she lost her mind. So tell me why people are making it seem like Azula was trying so hard to prove herself to Ozai. Because that is not supposed to be the case. Not at all, not even a tiny bit. Now let's pivot back to the Northern Water Tribe. Why the Aang want to meet Kuruk? Like, is he meet and greet? Does he want to meet everybody? He for Kuku meet one and Yang Chen so that we'll know that he wants to start meeting everybody in the Avatar world and do excursion. It was so obvious that they took a concept from the very last book. Even I think one of the very last episodes where he was asking the different avatars before him for advice on how to face the Fire Lord. You people now decided to bring it forward to him just trying to fight ordinary small fire nation in the Northern Water Tribe. Why was that necessary? Did you think that that was a good choice? And then he met Kuruk, and Kuruk was so emotional. Let's not even talk about the fact that the casting for Kuruk was very sad because Kuruk has to be one of the hottest avatars that have existed according to the lineage or the genealogy. But tell me why the person that acted Kuruk, the casting for Kuruk, was looking like that. I mean, everybody was created in the image of God and everybody is beautiful, but I had high expectations. I had high expectations. I had high expectations, and that definitely did not even get close. And let's talk about Sokka and Yue's relationship. First of all, ew. Secondly, cringe. Thirdly, God forbid. Because at the point where he figured out that Yue was the fox, she could go in and out of the spirit realm. Okay, if you could go in and out of the spirit realm, how did you go in and out of the spirit realm to go and find Sokka when you've never met him before? Ashe, he is the man that you're looking for. So your radar is tingling wherever he is. That's where you want to go and find him. People should be serious now. If people want to make a cinematic masterpiece, then put your head down and do your research well. Kirk and Aang met up, and Kirk was telling Aang that he has to fight alone, that his friends are going to be the what's the word casualties and all of that. And Aang now comes back, and then Katara is complaining to him about how Paco is not going to teach her, and he's like, she shouldn't fight because they said so. It's for her own good. Where is the feminism? Where is the feminism alliance? Let's back up a little bit. So Paco tells Katara to go to the women waterbending class where they use it for healing. I don't know if this was supposed to be an extension of a cartoon because tell me why they are bending water over a cut to heal and the cut or the wound magically disappears. Like it doesn't congeal, it doesn't come together, it doesn't look like it's clotting or anything, it just disappears and the skin becomes smooth. There's even no scar. Now water powerful reach for Northern Water Tribe because I need that kind of water if that's how it will work without any scars. Then lastly, or one of the last things on this episode, I don't know why they took the flair out of Katara challenging Paco to a waterbending fight. In the animation, Katara challenges Paco with a lot of anger. She challenges him because she knows she's not going to win, but she wants to show him what she got. In um the live action, Kitara doesn't seem serious. I don't think that girl can accurately depict Kitara. She can depict the motherly side, okay, fair enough. But when it comes to actually fighting, like the strong emotions that Kitara portrayed, I think that the actress is going to struggle a little bit with that. I don't know. Maybe she's going to surprise me in the season 2, but it took the flair out of her challenging Paco to fight. Because of that, it made the fight very mid. I mean, it was okay, like the bending obviously is good, but everything was just doing one kind, it was just all over the place. And then they now took out the fact that Paco recognized her necklace, that it was the necklace that he made for her grandma. I mean, it didn't hurt that it was there or it wasn't there. I didn't really care about it, but I just thought to mention that they took out the grandma and Paco love thing. Like I said, I'm convinced that these producers were experiencing some kind of heartbreak, or maybe they were going through some really rough times emotionally. That's why they decided that nobody was going to find love in this series. Point of correction, nobody relevant was going to find love in this series, because that thing that Sokka was made with Suki and Yue, I don't count it as anything. Lastly, my very last thought, I don't like how Aang didn't even train waterbending once. The whole point of him and Katara coming to the Northern Water Tribe was to learn waterbending, not necessarily to help them fight. That just came, that just happened. That's in the, like I'm talking about in the animation. That just happened because he was there. Because obviously, everywhere Aang goes, war comes. So I don't like the fact that in the live action, he didn't even get to bend water once. He didn't even get to train with Paco. And all in all, Aang was an embarrassment in this episode. In episode 7, Aang really felt my hand. I'm not even going to lie. Anyways, episode 8. Oh, all glory to God. We finally made it to the last episode, my people. Episode 8, I actually didn't have a lot of thoughts because I just felt like at this point I was going to charge the whole series and take my L. I did jot down a few things, so I'm just going to quickly run through them, and I will be done with this video, and I will be done with this series, and I will never have to think about it again. I think all in all, I just have like 3 or 4 thoughts for the last episode. My first thought was I didn't like the fact that N was such a pity party. Small thing, I'm a failure, I'm a failure, I'm a failure. I let everybody down. I mean, of course, yes, you are a failure. You abandoned them for 100 years, but must you cry about it every time? Like, we already know that you're a failure. Try and do something else. Shock us. Be a hero. Secondly, Yue was doing the most. I don't know how to explain it, but she was sure doing the most, and it was annoying me. Thirdly, I liked Zuko and Katara's fight scene in the entire war debacle. I won't even call it a war, it was more like a battle. I liked Zuko and Katara's fight scene. I felt it was okay. I mean, there was no tension there, like the tension we see in the animation, but it was pretty chill. We tried. The fourth one is I liked the graphics when Aang embodied the spirits, like the water spirit after the moon spirit was killed. It was okay. It was, they tried. I didn't think it was going to look that good, but they actually did. But at this point, I already knew that these people were focusing on graphics. I heard that they spent roughly about 20 million on each episode, so I'm guessing majority of that money actually went to them developing the graphics, and it showed. But lastly, the last thing I'm going to conclude this entire thing with is how was Aang able to go into the avatar state at will? Because if you watch that last episode, when he got into the avatar state, it seemed like he was going into it at will. And we all know that Aang was unable to go into the avatar state at will until he unlocked all his chakras. And that was in like book 2 with the guru and his dirty banana onion smoothies. But no, the Avatar Last Airbender, the Aang in the live action is a superhero. He doesn't need anybody to tell him how he can get into the Avatar state, in and out of it at will. He's the man of the hour. Like, why did you do that? Aang struggled even in the actual animation in that particular scene when he got into the avatar state. It was because he was angry that the spirit had died. Don't tell me that, sorry, you don't come and tell me that in the live action he just closes his eyes and everything starts to glow and he's in the avatar state. Are you people kidding me? Honestly, yes, storyline and character development in this series was very, very poor. I'm not even going to lie. I was very disappointed with storyline and character development. It was embarrassing. And now I don't even know whether to be excited or anxious for season 2 because I get to see my main girl, Toph. Toph is my favorite character in the entire Avatar um genealogy. Even she's my favorite character, period, in all of them. She's my favorite character, and I don't even know whether to be anxious or excited because I don't know what they're going to do to her character. I don't know what they will do. She might not even be blind. Who knows? She might be wearing shoes. We don't know because these people have done some crazy stuff now, but I don't even know what to expect from them. Anyways, we've come to the end, and all I can honestly say is the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender it was difficult to hate because it was something dear, and they did do some things fair enough, but it was very, very difficult to love. I don't think there is any OG Avatar: The Last Airbender fan out there that can beat their chest and say they loved the live action. I don't think so. You know, it is what it is. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm just talking from the perspective of a consumer, and that is what I think. There could be other filmmakers out there that think that they did a great job, possible, but this is just me. Anyways, guys, we've come to the end of this video as well. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on your post notification bell, as well as check out my TikTok and my Instagram, and just let me know what you actually think about the live action as well in the comments. I'm going to be interacting with everybody. I just want to know what you guys think as well. Thank you for staying with me till the end. I know you'll be thinking this girl talks too much, we have big head, but you still stayed, so I'm sure I'm entering your eye. Anyways, that's about it. Good night, y'all.